Prior to the people, CBO the automatic, politics and world news, June 2025. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. That's what it is. All around the world. Politics. Politics and world news. That's what it is. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. That's what it is. All around the world. World news. Politics. Politics news. That's what it is. Politics and world news. Copenhagen. It's a European heat wave. 2,000 people died standing in the sun rays. It ain't no shade under the tall buildings. Silicon Valley, the video reached 4 trillion. It's more video games for poor children. No more manufacturing jobs to earn a living. Mossberg Pump, who shot the sheriff? Cause President Trump handing out double-digit tariffs. Taxing. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. That's what it is. All around the world, world news, politics. Politics and world news. That's what it is. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. That's what it is. All around the world, world news, politics. Politics and world news. That's what it is. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. Hakalugi spit, get locked up in Egypt for supporting the Gaza Strip. I ain't need a degree to get a tech job. I use artificial intelligence to stick and rob. United States, China, and Japan, nothing but conflict, Israel and Iran. This is the cancer that Big Tobacco gave to me. They can remember the Holocaust, but not slavery. Young buck got locked in a police station in solitary confinement, poverty and isolation. It's time to fight for your rights. All eyes on me like the world news tonight. President Trump put a travel ban on Africa, Ukraine, India, Pakistan. It's a massacre. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, but they closing down schools for little boys and the girls. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. That's what it is. All around the world, world news, politics. Politics and world news. That's what it is. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. Politics and world news. That's what it is. Politics and world news. That's what it is. All around the world, world news, politics. Politics and world news. That's what it is. Politics and world news. That's what it is. Politics and world news. That's what it is. All around the world, world news, politics. Politics and world news. Politics. Politics and world news. Politics. America, the automatic politics and world news. June 2025. News. Prior to the people. Politics and world news.
Fast food chain Popeyes became a victim of its own advertising today. So many customers lined up for a big special. Some locations, including one in Penfield and the city, ran out of chicken. Tonight, customers were clucking their disapproval. Customers at the drive-thru heard this recorded message.
Sorry for the inconvenience, but we are all out of chicken and we are closed for the rest of the day. Thank you and have a blessed day.
One woman yelled back at the machine.
People have kids that they trying to feed for the special, and you mean to tell me that we can't feed our kids? Because y'all didn't order enough chicken. Y'all knew y'all was having this special almost 2 months ago, and that's wrong.
But no one was listening. Popeyes on Lake Avenue was closed by dinner time.
Are you kidding me?
I think that's bad because I'm sure hungry.
No chicken.
No chicken?
They just had a chicken.
I said I'm calling customer service now to see where there's another Popeyes at.
Yeah, they seem to be out of chicken today, so I'll just pick up a pizza. It's no big deal.
Other locations ran out of chicken too. The $4.99 special too good to pass up.
I just left Popeyes. They were out of chicken there, so I ran to the city to this one, and they're out too. This is ridiculous.
They should have had a stockpile of chicken for this day.
They should have had a tractor trailer out back.
with extra chicken on ice, you know?
Isn't there a McDonald's like right here? Yeah, that's it.
Maybe it was the economy that caused the rush on chicken. Customers felt duped.
You know, they put their advertisements on and then they don't show up for it.
I'm more disappointed than angry. You know, we've been looking forward to this day.
They advertised it on national TV. How you gonna run out of chicken?
Special? What's special?
That's all I have to say.
Everybody makes mistakes. You guys have a nice day, all right?
Angry customers there. Popeye says the franchises are individually owned and responsible for ordering their own chicken.
Well, there's an ecological crisis going on right now in the Everglades. Burmese pythons were released in South Florida back in the early 90s. You know, we've talked about that for a while. They have no natural predator, remember? So they started feasting on everything, and we saw that for ourselves recently while out on the hunt with one of Florida's top python hunters. Animals that once flourished there are gone. Florida's most invasive species.
Finding them is absolutely the hardest part.
Maybe its most elusive.
They're so well camouflaged.
And is surely its most destructive.
Dude, 16 butter.
That's why Florida's annual 2-week Python Challenge attracts hunters now from all over. Any python of any size counts. Each measured and bagged, each with a tail.
Want me to put her in there?
That'll be told for generations by professionals, but also many amateur hunters.
There's not many great adventures left in life for the common guy.
Like 75-year-old Davis Harriman, who let a trophy snake apparently slip right out of his hands. It sounds like you need to recruit some people for your team.
Well, otherwise I'd be turning him in over here.
He is not happy.
It's not recommended you try it alone. Not only will they bite, you could be strangled in an instant if you don't know what you're doing. I'll stick with those coming out of the cooler. You see these expert hunters wrangling these things, and it looks so easy, but this one's only about 8 feet long, and I can tell you just by holding him here, he is nothing but solid muscle.
Put your hand on that. Look how big your hand is on it.
10-plus footers are not uncommon since they're feasting on a buffet of critters. In fact, the U.S. Geological Survey reports the bobcat population in the Everglades has dropped 87% since 1997. Opossums, 98%, and raccoons, 99%. Rabbits and foxes have effectively disappeared.
That's absolutely because of the pythons.
Brandon Rahe left a successful personal training business to hunt pythons now full-time.
If we drove around at night 30 years ago like we're doing tonight, we would see all the things you just mentioned. You're not going to see any of those tonight.
So we're full-on crisis mode here in the Everglades.
Oh yeah, it's big time.
And as Brandon's YouTube channel shows, he stays busy. How many snakes you think you've caught?
Last month, July, I turned in 40 snakes, and 2 of those being with nests.
All right, Jimmy, there's python eggs right here.
One of them set a state record with at least 111 eggs. And he found them here, in the heart of Everglades National Park. So as the sky fades to black,
We're playing the odds that we're going to catch one
spotlights in hand,
that's out and being active.
we scan the waterline.
Okay, Amanda, creep on back.
A feral hog freezes when our lights find him,
We'll maybe hop down.
as do a few native snakes.
Plenty of feistiness.
A brown water snake,
Flat.
Not a python.
and this banded water snake.
So this commonly gets mistaken for a water moccasin, but this is what we're trying to protect out here ultimately.
But we see no other animals, as an eerie quiet hangs overhead, interrupted only by a distant frog.
Try to find the high ground.
So we high step it off-road, and instantly Brandon finds something.
But all of a sudden, look, there's structure.
Inside that structure, a nest. And these nests are called clutches, and when you find one, they're important. Here's why. Not only here's the evidence, these hatchlings are clearly long about their way. But the important thing about finding a place like this is that even though the hatchlings are all gone, Mama will usually come back to reuse this nest.
Kind of cool, right?
Crazy. Which will bring Brandon back again to save this precious land.
For every python that gets removed from the Everglades, how many native species have we saved?
One snake at a time. And year year after year, not only they're wreaking havoc there, they're moving northward. In 2003, a majority of them had been found in the southwest corner of the Everglades. That's the lower portion, of course. Well, about 10 years later, they started creeping into Hendry County and then creeping into Collier County as well. And then look at this. Yeah, in 2021, they were found north of Fort Myers, and they stretch, as you see here, all the way across the state of Florida.
It's because they're running out of food,
They
right?
are.
So they just keep moving north.
They are. They're running into more development too, but that's the question: is how do we catch up with them, and how many? What are kind of the numbers that are really out there? We don't know. We know that these hunts have to continue.
And I mean, is he saying that more people should go out and hunt so that we can try and put a bigger dent in this population?
If you play by the rules and you're careful enough,
my word.
something has to be done. But they're not easy to find too, as we found as well. 'cause
Right,
they get
you guys
slid
were out
into
there
the
all
water,
overnight.
and then hunters go out every night and don't catch one. So that's the other problem, is that they're just as elusive as they are invasive.
Well, that was a great story. Chilling.
I'll get Paul out there next.
Yeah, Paul's gonna be out.
Your work-life balance? It's non-existent. You're never not working. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do.
You're a highly recruited college basketball player. After going from the streets of Chicago to Georgetown University on scholarship, you transfer to New Mexico State, have a breakout season, finally becoming a starter. You hear you're having a game against a rival school, and then the girl you've been chasing hears you'll be there, so she invites you to spend a night with her on campus. Unknown to you though, she's not alone, and setting you up to throw away everything you work for. On October 15th, 2022, a football game was taking place between the University of New Mexico and New Mexico State, and as is common at college football games, a fight broke out. Now, it's unclear how the dispute began, but seen clearly on videos uploaded by students are two New Mexico State basketball players, one of them being Mike Peak, and on the other side of the fight, a few UNM students that appeared to have been on the losing side of this scuffle, something they would apparently remember. Brandon Travis, the man seen being picked up off the ground, was a 19-year-old medical student from California. And at the time of Mike Peak's upcoming basketball game, the video of the fight had been circulating around campus for about a month. And according to his friends, he has seen the video many times and likely wanted some revenge. Now here's where we get to Maya Hill, also known as Honey. She was a 17-year-old freshman at UNM at the time, and according to Maya, she had been texting Mike for some time. She claims that Mike was eager to meet up with her because he wanted to have sex, but they were at two different schools. And knowing that he was involved in a big fight just a few weeks prior at her school, it probably would have been wiser for her to come visit him. And this is where it gets confusing. Maya states that Brandon and his friends found out that she was texting Mike. From here, she says that they made her agree to lure him into a trap so they could beat him up. The problem with this is, I don't buy that Maya was forced to do anything. For Brandon and his friends to discover who she was texting, they had to have been close to her. Even more suspicious is the fact that she told police she first met Peak at the game where the fight occurred. Regardless, on November 18th, 2022, the New Mexico State basketball team arrives in Albuquerque a day early for their big game. The team checks into the Doubletree Hotel and are given a midnight curfew. Peak and two other players are at first not accounted for until 1:15 a.m. when assistant coach Taylor states he saw Mike Peak and two other men enter the hotel and point at the elevator. But they may have just been going to get dressed, as all three soon left the hotel again, possibly all on their way to meet women. Now Peak didn't ride with his two teammates, as he was texting Maya Hill, letting her know that he was in town and trying to get invited to her dorm room, which he does. But she wasn't sitting in her dorm texting him. She was actually hanging out in Brandon's room with two other guys, so it doesn't seem very likely that she did anything against her will, since she went to Brandon's dorm after midnight willingly. And in this room, the four of them went over the plan. Maya was to have Pete meet her near Coronado Hall, a larger co-ed dorm on campus, and walk him to a corner where Brandon and two other men would be waiting for him. And Brandon could finally get his payback. The problem with this is one that I've seen personally in my own time at college. You get so caught up in living in a world full of your peers, and you forget where you are. And for a lot of kids, freshman year in college is the first time living without rules and restrictions. And this is how things go too far. Brandon and his friends seemingly intended to end Mike's basketball career since they chose to bring bats and even a gun for the planned setup. But coming from Chicago and worried about his safety, Mike also forgot where he was when he violated the policy by bringing his own firearm on the team bus ride to Albuquerque. And he likely knew that there would be someone wanting to do harm to him on campus if he was ever caught. But what he failed to see is that meeting this girl was simply not worth the risk at all. But at 3 a.m., Peak finally meets up with Maya after she texts him asking him to hurry. And it was at this moment, after walking to a corner in the complex, that 3 men ran out of the shadows and Maya disappeared as she was instructed. Caught completely off guard, Mike was suddenly looking down the barrel, with Brandon on the other hand. And just then, one of the other men hit Mike in the knee with a bat before a small tussle ensued, and Mike started to run away. Now, it was at this moment that both of their fates were sealed. And surrounded, Mike was backed against the wall, barely able to run away on an injured leg. But when Brandon noticed that Mike was also armed, he made the decision that cost him his life. He fired at Mike, striking him in the leg, causing Mike, still running, to fire back, striking and killing Brandon. Brandon's fate was now clear. He was gone. Now, as of 2024, the last of the court proceedings are going on, with Brandon's 2 co-conspirators being charged and pleading out to little time served, since I believe they were all first offenders. The 17-year-old Maya Hill took a plea deal where she only received 3 years of probation. It's still debatable whether she actually feels bad about the whole thing or not. But Mike Peak, a future NBA prospect, shortly after the judge ruled that he would not be charged since he acted in self-defense, he was still suspended indefinitely from his basketball program. When the police interviewed his assistant coaches, one coach remarked that Brandon may never play another second of basketball for that program, but what he really meant was he may never play a second of college basketball ever again. No program was going to want to take on the baggage that Mike now had, with the coaching staff saying that they had never even gotten into contact with Mike's family since he started, indicating that he didn't really have any family support at all. He seemingly completely disappeared as of 2024, and I can't seem to find anything about him. And he entered the transfer portal in 2023, but as of 2024, no program has taken a chance on him. And unfortunately, this is just another cautionary tale of lust. Mike was young, and maybe he couldn't see that meeting this girl wasn't worth whatever risk he thought it posed. And this girl, what was her actual motive for setting up such a thing?
I picked the software engineering program because they pay very well. It's a fast-paced industry. It was 10 months, so a little bit longer. The boot camp allowed me to keep my job.
The message itself is, if I have to put it into one sentence, it would be humanity rises and falls as one. I think we are living in a very difficult time. There's a lot of divisions in terms of ideas, ethnicities, identities, and I think this is a time where we can use a little bit more moral imagination and imagine ourselves being connected with one another. Yeah, I think, it's particularly important because there's a lot going on outside Harvard, the conflict, the geopolitical tensions, and especially important in Harvard because students can be very emotionally charged because they deeply care about a lot of issues. And when you are emotionally charged and activated, it's very easy to demonize another person.
Counterfeit cash is circulating through Hawaii, and Honolulu police say cases of forgery are up this year. Bryce Moore has details.
A fake $100 bill, apparently made by bleaching a 1 and reprinting it, was recently passed to a longtime local business owner.
And I had a couple other girls in here at the same time, so I didn't really closely look at the 100, which if I would have did that, I could have probably prevented invented it.
Costello has owned Siam Imports for 28 years and will be closing at the end of July.
I'm so used to having good customers coming through my shop over the years that I get lackadaisical sometimes.
Honolulu police say counterfeiting and forgery are up 16.5% compared to last year.
We're seeing more and more of these bleaching of dollar bills, and then they're being printed with 50 or 100 on them.
Experts say to always check if the blue strip on hundreds really is a hologram or just a sticker. The counterfeits didn't work for Costello.
It still feels kind of like a paper bill because you're still using the same, paper. It's like if you throw money through the wash, right? It still feels like a bill. But we're seeing a lot more people now holding it up to the light, finding out that the pens don't always work.
And hopefully by you guys doing this report to prevent someone else from getting taken by the same people or as a group of people or whatever.
The Secret Service website shows there are at least 9 different indicators to tell if a $100 bill is fake. We'll have more info on KHON2.com. Bryce Moore, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
Police in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin say it was a big misunderstanding. Officers mistook an African-American teenager for a robbery suspect and handcuffed him. As Michelle Miller explains, the teen was only riding in the car with his white grandmother.
After ordering 18-year-old Akil Carter out of his grandmother's car,
Hands up high in the air. Face away from us. Walk to the sidewalk.
police placed him in handcuffs and ordered him into the back of a squad car.
Officer Gabriel's gonna get some information from you, okay?
Grandmother Paulette Barr had just left church and was driving Akil to work when police stopped them. Officers say they initially started following them after an African-American man and woman identified the vehicle. They said it was carrying a white woman who was being robbed by 2 black men. But police say they never got a formal statement from those witnesses because they left the area. The family's attorney is skeptical.
It seems strange that for all the dash cam footage the police have turned over, we have not seen anything where the officer's interacting with these people.
After Carter was detained, an officer is seen exiting the patrol car with his gun outside the holster. Officers then approached the teen's grandmother.
Everything okay? That's your grandson?
Police say Carter was handcuffed for approximately 6 minutes.
Well, I'm guessing what this sounds like is a really big misunderstanding.
After the teen was released, a witness captured his grandmother's reaction.
That's your grandson? Wow.
The family's attorney says even if the police account is accurate, the officers clearly overreacted.
Any random person can run up to a police officer now and say, "Stop that car, it's engaged in a robbery," and that's all it takes.
The family's attorney says the frightening encounter left the grandmother feeling helpless, wondering what she could have done to protect her grandson. Michelle Miller, CBS News, New York.
Communication, language, people take them for granted. Para mí, la comunicación lo es todo. When I got to West Point, my love for languages became even stronger. The Army isn't always easy, but the challenges allow me to grow and learn about myself, to learn new languages and cultures. There's so much talent in my community that goes...
The thrill of hitting it big. These guys jumped for joy after winning $3.5 million at roulette. And this couple does a victory dance. They just won $500,000 at the slots.
So you just hit the jackpot. Life is great, right? Not so fast. Sometimes the hardest part is collecting.
I thought it was my lucky day. I thought I hit it big.
I thought I was a millionaire. All these people believed they were heading to Easy Street. 44-year-old Katrina Bookman hit a $42.9 million jackpot at Resorts World Casino in Queens, New York.
This is me right here, taking this selfie.
Here she is posing next to the winning machine. It's right there on the machine. $42.9 million. The crowd started gathering around. Then security showed up. Security took her aside, and that's when she was told that the machine had malfunctioned. There was no payday.
anytime machine hits a lot of money, y'all gonna claim that it's broke?
Get it submitted as soon as possible.
Katrina hired a lawyer, Alan Ripka, to take the casino to court. The case is pending.
When you walk through the door, you expect that if you're risking your money, that if you win, you will be paid.
55-year-old construction worker Jerry Rape and his wife Kim couldn't believe it when the slot machine said he'd won $1.3 million at the Wind Creek Casino in Montgomery, Alabama.
I thought it was my lucky day.
But 24 hours after he thought he won, Jerry was also told the machine malfunctioned.
Very devastating.
Lawyer Matt Abbott.
In this circumstance, the Creek Indian tribe was the judge, they were the jury, and the ultimate say-so on whether or not they were going to pay a jackpot that they should have paid.
Veronica Castillo thought it was her lucky day when the machine showed she won $8.5 million at the Lucky Eagle Casino outside Seattle.
I was very excited. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
She even took out her camera to take pictures.
I started to ask, where's my prize?
But just like the others, there would be no prize. She was told it was another malfunctioning machine.
They took my money and they didn't want to pay my winnings.
Washington is one of the handful of states that has its own casino lab where gaming machines are regularly inspected.
Nationwide, it's extremely rare that we see a major machine malfunction, so consumers should feel pretty confident that when they're sitting down at a gaming machine that it's going to function properly.
That's little solace for Katrina, Jerry, and Veronica, who thought she was a millionaire for exactly 15 minutes.
I'm going to fight. This is not over.
First spin!
We'll let you know what happens. Casinos say malfunctions are extremely rare, and when errors occur, any payouts are void. In the cases that you heard about, the jackpots actually exceeded what those machines could pay out.
In Norfolk, Virginia, police know everywhere you drive. They can tell when you're driving to work, picking up your kids from school, or going to a doctor's appointment. And many residents aren't happy about it.
My name is Lee Schmidt, and I live in Norfolk, Virginia. I was stationed originally in Norfolk on board the USS Bainbridge, and I retired here just recently. So I was stationed on Little Creek. I was driving to work, and I started driving by these little cameras on poles. And while I was sitting at a stoplight waiting to get to work one day, I took a picture of one. And I reached out to my local council people with the photo of one and just kind of asked, what were they? Well, I got a response back saying that they were the flock cameras, and I started to do a bit of research on them, and I really realized how intrusive they were.
In 2023, Norfolk Police partnered with a tech company called Flock Safety to install more than 170 automatic license plate reader cameras throughout the city. These cameras are different from a red light camera or speed camera, which are triggered by a specific violation. They watch every car that drives by.
And actually create a traceable path of the car moving through the city as long as it's being picked up by the flock cameras.
Correct. And it would be difficult to drive anywhere of any distance without running into a camera somewhere.
I don't like being tracked every day. I don't like when I drive by the intersection here at Ward's Corner, then being able to tell which way I'm going. There's 4 cameras there. When I researched the cameras, I did learn about them using artificial intelligence. That when you drive by them, it's not just a snapshot of your license plate number. It reads the demographics of your vehicle. It's a brown car. It's got fender damage. And then it can build a profile of where you've been. And that tracking ability is quite nerve-wracking.
Once it uploads driver's information to the cloud, Flock uses AI to create a fingerprint police can use to track the same vehicle as it moves through the city. Flock says its cameras are in more than 5,000 communities across 47 states. Norfolk's police chief commented that the use of Flock cameras in neighboring cities creates a, quote, curtain of technology. Flock's cameras store the data they collect, and police can access it without a warrant.
There's no controls on how it can be used. Someone can go out and pull that data whenever they want if they just don't like you. There's no limits or requirements on how often It's audited to see when the police officers have pulled up the information.
In Kansas, police were caught using flock cameras to stalk their exes. In California, police departments may have violated state law by sharing their flock data outside the state. And similar databases have been hacked, revealing private data that was offered up for sale on the dark web.
And I'm worried about someone getting in and getting that data and access to the cameras to be able to know if I'm home or if I'm out of the state. Is it a good time to break into my home? Is it a good time to track my wife? The amount of abuse that can be done by just tracking my vehicle is pretty great.
This type of prolonged warrantless surveillance is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court has ruled the prolonged use of cell phone location data to follow someone is a search that requires a warrant. And the federal court that covers Norfolk ruled that Baltimore's use of surveillance planes to monitor the city was an illegal, warrantless search. Tracking people everywhere they go is a search, and giving the police arbitrary power to track everyone in Norfolk is unreasonable. That's why Lee Schmidt has teamed up with IJ to file a federal lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of this surveillance program.
With this lawsuit, I hope to end the illegal and unconstitutional surveillance. I hope that my kids don't have to be illegally surveilled, and I hope that other people don't fall to the abuses of the surveillance.
Your health is your biggest asset. Find covered California plans starting at $0 a month.
This granite orb carries precious cargo from the past that's captured the imagination of these historians and stonemasons alike. In late May, the Angel Moroni statue was removed from the Salt Lake Temple for restoration and repair as part of a seismic renovation project. The capstone below the statue's feet held artifacts placed in a time capsule nearly 130 years ago. Witnessed by a small group of construction crews and onlookers amid COVID-19 restrictions, a stark contrast to its installation in 1892.
The capstone ceremony on the Salt Lake Temple was a huge event. There were tens of thousands of people on Temple Square. And you have dozens of construction workers and other people on the scaffolding, people sitting on the roofs of houses around the Salt Lake Temple site watching this ceremony take place. So this is a moment to reflect on the last 39 years of construction.
Once separated from the Moroni statue, stonemasons worked alongside church history preservation experts to carefully breach the capstone to discover what historic treasures lay inside, but also to seismically reinforce the steel inside that connects the statue to the capstone.
We hoped it would be easy, that we could just pop the top off, but as we started excavating, we found out how difficult it was. There was no other option besides cutting it open.
After painstaking and meticulous work, access was gained. 4 chambers full of artifacts placed north, east, south, and west, encased in concrete.
Which side are you on?
And the first presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was there to see the first items removed.
This is the draft of the books.
Among the artifacts identified, scriptures, popular religious books of the time, and a gold-leafed copper plate with the name of church leadership inscribed.
Everything was very damp, and part of that is because they had dumped concrete around all of the packets, and concrete will sweat and leach, and the books essentially were sponges.
Other anticipated items, photographs, some believed to be images of church founder Joseph Smith and his brother Hiram.
They are laminated together because of the moisture from the concrete, and no photographic image remains. But because they are C.R. Savage photo cards, we don't believe that any image that would have been on here would have been an original image.
Some of the most interesting and surprising discoveries were objects placed in the time capsule by people attending the capstone ceremony so long ago.
found approximately 400, give or take, coins.
Welcome back, everyone. His nickname should ring a bell. The Cardboard Genius. He's the local artist that creates cardboard sculptures of famous landmarks just by looking at pictures of them. His story's gone viral, and his talent is now gaining the attention of art lovers and celebrities alike. Jan Carabeo is following his journey and shows us what the Cardboard Genius is working on next.
Campbell Smith's neighbors have come to know this scene well.
I like to be focused. Like patient.
The artist, quietly and painstakingly, perfecting his latest creation right in his front yard.
Trying to make sure to get the details all tight.
Those who don't know him often stop to marvel, learning these sculptures are made mostly from cardboard
Check the scale.
and completely through sight alone.
Are you honest? Yes.
We most recently caught up with Campbell during his latest art exhibit in Germantown, aptly dubbed Cardboard Genius. That much is clear. But his father Lonnie says Campbell's talent was hidden at first. Campbell was diagnosed with autism as a child, and once he found art, Lonnie says that autism became Campbell's superpower.
Unknowingly, what he's done here though, is powerful.
Well, they call him the Cardboard Genius. Campbell's story on CBS News Philadelphia was viewed more than 1 million times on social media, and tens of thousands are showing their admiration and support of his journey, including Philly's own Questlove and former Eagle Terrell Owens.
When he hears that people are interested in his projects, it just motivates him to move faster.
One of his next creations, the Marcy Houses, the place where Jay-Z grew up in Brooklyn.
These aren't just models, they're cultural landmarks.
And whether it's here at home or at his exhibits, Lonnie is never far from Campbell's side. In fact, many online are also praising Lonnie for creating a safe space for his son to thrive. Laughing, he says that is simply automatic.
It's not a big deal. It's just what I do because I love them.
Lonnie is such a proud father. After our story aired, he says Rock Nation even reached out to show some love. And you can see Campbell in action today. He'll be at Smith Memorial Playground and Playhouse creating a new sculpture as part of their Boxopolis program. Come, make your own creations out of cardboard right next to Campbell. It is free and open to the public. Campbell will be there at 1:30 this afternoon. And Jim, I think this event is really going to show people just how hard it is to do what Campbell does.
Listen, I did a diorama in elementary school.
How'd that go?
Didn't look good at all.
What grade did you get?
I think I passed.
Okay, well, hey,
Barely.
that's good enough. But he's incredible, and to see him work up close, it really is inspiring.
Amazing. Thanks for following along. Thank you, Jan. Appreciate it.
The very natural look. Butterflies, bees, and birds.